Craig Scott also survived Columbine, but two of his friends were gunned down right next to him. His sister was also killed. But for all his loss, Scott is now saving lives. He sat down with us to share his story of good overcoming evil.
All paramedics into the building will be directed in. Multiple victims.
The images are burned into our mind, but Craig Scott lived it. He was in the library of Columbine High School when those killings began.
And I got underneath the table with two of my friends, Matt and Isaiah, and the shooters came into the library. It was the first room that they came into, and they immediately were shooting off their guns, mocking some of the students before they shot them. They came over to where I was, and they saw my friend Isaiah, who was one of the few black students in our school, and they made fun of Isaiah for being black. They had a lot of prejudice, and they shot and killed Isaiah, and they shot and killed Matt, and they left me underneath the table.
Craig's 17-year-old sister, Rachel Scott, was the first person killed, gunned down outside on the lawn. His emotions still raw. A then 16-year-old Craig appeared with Isaiah's father the very next day on the Today Show.
My sister was a real person. She was real to people.
Craig's family has been telling this story ever since. But it's no longer about pain and violence. It's a story of hope.
The essay that my sister wrote in her class just a month before the shooting, and in it she says, I have this theory: if one person goes out of their way to show compassion, it will start a chain reaction of the same.
Craig and his father have spoken to millions around the world about Rachel.
She outlined her hands like this, and in the center of one of those hands she said, these hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts. The two shooters were put down and picked on at school, and Rachel was the type of person to reach out to people like that. She purposefully, in her journals, talks about reaching the unreached. She wanted to reach out to kids nobody else thought was important.
They challenge people to show love and tolerance the way Rachel did. So it's called Rachel's Challenge.
We're trying to inspire the students and the people that we speak to get them to think about the kind of life they're living, the legacy they're leaving behind, how they're treating people, all the challenges that we deal with. Each chain link represents an act of kindness that a student did for another student.
At their office in Littleton is proof of the impact they've had.
When I wanted to kill myself, when I heard Rachel's challenge, it made me want to be a stronger person. Well, this morning I spoke at a school and had 3 teenagers come up to me and said that they had been thinking about suicide, and because of hearing this story, we're not going to take their life. That was this morning.
But for all the good, there's a price.
It's been challenging to continue to share a story that is based on the Columbine tragedy, but it's worth it when I see lives that are being impacted.
Which is why Craig will continue to share the story of Columbine, because those few moments 10 years ago forever changed the course of his life. Now, you may not have heard of Rachel's Challenge, but that will probably change soon. The Scott families avoided speaking in Colorado out of respect for the other victims, but they believe enough time has gone by that they can start reaching out to our schools. To learn more about Rachel's Challenge, just go to our website, KOAA.com.